everyone. Thank you for joining for our Herbert Employer of the Day. We have NVR Homes today as our employer, and we have Hyla Hurwitz joining us. And so we're going to go ahead and let her get started with just introducing herself and giving a brief overview of her current role.
Thank you for having me. So I work as a recruiter for NVR Homes. I've been in this role for about 5 years, and I recruit for a whole different array of positions, everything from production construction managers to sales, to some folks in our architectural services department as well. So kind of across the board, a lot of different positions in a lot of different locations as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to have you here. So our first question really is for you just to tell us a little bit about NVR Homes, what the company does and where the primary locations are.
Sure. So NVR is the parent company of 3 home building brands. We have Ryan Homes, Heartland Homes, and NVHomes. Ryan Homes is our more national, well-known brand. We are in the top 5 home builders in the country, so we're a large home builder. We are operating in 14 states, in 32 different divisions or cities, and we're kind of in this hyper expansive expansion mode right now where we are expanding. We just expanded into Charleston and Jacksonville, and then we're also looking to expand into Texas and Georgia as well. So it's an exciting time to be with the company because we are growing. And then not only with our home building brands, but we also have our own mortgage company and our own sales and settlement division as well. So we really can be kind of a one-stop shop for customers that can go through, the sales process to production to closing on their home all through us.
Yeah, and just as a follow-up, a lot of our students are interested in staying in Tennessee or at least in the Southeast. So what are some of those other locations within the Southeast?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually in our Southeast divisions, we're doing a lot of our hiring right now. So that's great. Nashville, we have 2 Nashville divisions, Nashville North and Nashville South. And then also a lot of our North Carolina divisions are really expanding, Raleigh, Charlotte, and then also in South Carolina, we have our Greenville division that's actively hiring as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
So kind of around NVR and Ryan Homes, can you just describe the company culture to us and why you like working for this organization?
Sure, absolutely. So Ryan Homes is a great company to work for. I think my favorite part is just the company culture is all about kind of promoting employees from within. There's a lot of different programs we have with our ladders to success and kind of moving up through the company. One of our most recent home building vice presidents started out as a production intern and kind of worked his way up to becoming vice president of home building. So there's a lot of opportunity for advancement, and there are, as I mentioned, we have all these different kind of facets of the company. And so, if you're in production and you think I'd like to give sales a try, you're able to move over to the sales roles. Some people get interested in mortgage, move over to mortgage. So you can kind of move throughout in different kind of capacities. And then also with the different locations, if you're, in Pittsburgh and you decide you're looking to move somewhere warmer, you have that ability to transfer within the company, say down to Florida or something like that.
Awesome. That sounds like a great company culture. So if you switch to a division, are there like training programs that people would go through? Like, I feel like working in production, switching to mortgage would be a pretty big shift.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny, having said that, I don't see a lot of mortgage production. I mean, that's kind of a different, usually different type of person. But definitely there's training programs. As I mentioned, when you come into the company, once you're hired in, the opportunities really open up in that, if you're in sales, if we're hiring you as an outside salesperson, you need to have like 3 years of commission sales experience. But if you're in a production position, you decide you want to try sales, you don't have to meet that requirement. So there's some opportunities, once you're employed through the company. And then absolutely, we have great training programs available, especially our production construction training program as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So our next question is, what do you expect from students in virtual recruiting events or networking opportunities like Herbert Employer of the Day?
Sure. So I think that the best thing students can do is to kind of be themselves and also, show off a little bit. I think sometimes people are a little bit nervous to kind of say, these are all the great things I've done, or this is, these are the organizations I've joined in school, or I've been doing really great in this class and I love it, that type of thing. I think, just is, we don't want to brag on ourselves. We don't want to, talk about how great we are, but this is the time to do it and to really kind of share that. I think one thing too is a lot of employers like Ryan Homes, we use behavioral interviewing when we're interviewing people or candidates. And so I think a lot with that, we're looking for examples. So if you're going to say, if somebody says, tell me about a difficult experience, so you would say, I had this problem. I decided this was how I was going to solve it. And then that happened and I did solve it. So you can kind of like fill that box or close that gap to kind of explain that. So I think that's a great thing too, even just giving experiences in school, because a lot of students don't have maybe a lot of work experience, but there's definitely a lot of experiences that happen in school and in the classroom that, can definitely correlate to a problem that you might have kind of on the workplace or how you would handle yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. Our next question is, what kind of job and internship opportunities are available or do you currently have open?
Sure. So we love to hire our construction students into what we call a production supervisor position, which is a great kind of management trainee position. Our construction management students usually are in that position for about 9 to 12 months. During that time, you work under the guidance of one of our experienced project managers, and you're going to learn everything about our business from, getting supplies on time to managing subcontractors, making sure they're meeting our standards. And I think most importantly, talking with customers, making sure that our customers are comfortable with the state of their new home build, how it's going in regards to, just how it's looking versus, making sure we're meeting timelines, that type of thing. You're able to, typically the production supervisor position will last, I would say 12 to 18 months, but for a construction student, because they come in with such a great base of knowledge already, we're able to kind of fast track them through that training and really focus on kind of our products and our processes. Once you've been in that position and you've kind of completed that, you then are promoted into a project manager position in which you're in charge of an entire community on your own. So, within a year of graduating from college, you figure you could be in charge of a construction site all on your own. You're in charge of this community being built and making sure, families are all set in their homes and ready to go. So it's kind of it's a great program, and that you're given a lot of responsibility pretty quickly, and you're able to kind of meet some career goals pretty fast. And it's a great opportunity to kind of get into the company.
Yeah. And what about those sales opportunities? Are there any available right now for that?
Sure. So our sales opportunities do require 3 years of commission sales experience. So we're really, because with those positions, we really look for somebody who is able to kind of give us what their monthly goals were, how they met those goals, and kind of give us experiences and kind of some sales statistics. But as I mentioned, if you come in through the production side, once you're in a production position and if you decide you want to go into sales, you're able to kind of bypass that requirement and get hired into a sales position.
Right. And for the that production supervisor, there's no requirement to have a construction background, correct?
Right. Yeah, we definitely, love our construction students to come into that position. But if you're somebody that, maybe didn't have that major, but you have a love for the trade, absolutely, we'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. And so how do our students go about applying for these opportunities?
Sure. So definitely you can go on ryanhomes.com and at the bottom there's a career section and you can click on that. Or you're able to, you can send me an email directly. I don't know, should I give my email now or will it be at the end of this or?
Yeah, I can share it in the YouTube description.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, email me your resume and I'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. And the position is also posted on Handshake, and so you can go that route to find it, and then you'll be directed to apply on Ryan Homes' website. Our next question is, what kinds of experiences make candidates a good fit? And you kind of talked about this earlier of it being really anything as long as you're able to communicate that. So what are some ways that our students could communicate it on a resume to make that stand out to you?
Sure. I think it's great on resumes when students will indicate maybe a college course name or something and then kind of explain what they learned in that class or what the curriculum looked like, because it's great to know, okay, they went through that, they experienced that, especially, or also with internships. I think internships are a great thing, to highlight on there. And even, jobs, if you worked a job while going to school, I think that's something to be proud of. That shows that you can multitask. That shows that you're able to kind of, handle some pressure, some stress. So even if it's a job that maybe didn't, have something tied directly to construction, but just, I'm sure in any position you have to answer questions, you have to solve problems. So I think highlighting kind of any work experience as well is important.
Awesome. Thank you. And our last question today is, what advice do you have for students who are starting to search for jobs and internships, especially right now during COVID?
Yeah, that's I think tough to kind of look forward and see that that's what you're facing. But there's definitely a lot of opportunities. We are like at Ryan Homes, we are just growing very fast. And so we have a lot of opportunities. So I think there's a lot of companies out there in similar, if not in the same industry, in similar industries. So I would say definitely, Handshake is a great tool to kind of connect with employers, and definitely, talking with or meeting up with career services. I think that's especially here, you guys at UT, you have a great program and I've just been impressed with that. So reaching out, kind of using those tools that are available.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Hyla. We really appreciated you serving as the Herbert Employer of the Day. We liked hearing about NVR, Ryan Homes, all that it has to offer and how to go about applying for the great opportunities. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.